Competition on TikTok is high. Getting your content to reach a large audience and stand out among competitors is not easy. And publishing content is not enough. You have to optimize it for SEO, get likes, comments, and followers. SEO on TikTok encompasses all actions aimed at optimizing your content to make it more visible to users. TikTok has its own search algorithm, so it's important to understand how it works and how to implement an SEO strategy on the platform to achieve good positioning and reach the maximum number of users possible. It may look overwhelming, but don't worry. In this video, we'll share with you the keys to optimize your videos and the best TikToks with a well-done SEO. More and more brands are including TikTok in their marketing strategies. This is because it offers great advantages, like the opportunity to reach new markets, to reach young audiences, to advertise through entertainment and in different formats, to work with influencers, and many more. Gaining a foothold in a social network like TikTok can take time, but with perseverance and patience, it can be achieved. It is very important to use all the platform's tools, as they are the basis for positioning. This being said, let's craft your TikTok SEO strategy. TikTok SEO isn't much different from SEO for search engines like Google, as keywords also play a significant role. To execute a good SEO strategy on TikTok, you should begin by understanding your audience. This involves understanding the user profiles that interact with your content, what interests them, what they're searching for, and what they expect to see on TikTok. Once you've established this, it's time to move forward onto keyword research, a fundamental part of any strategy aiming for good positioning. For this phase, tools like Google Ads, Ubersuggest, SEMrush, Keyword Planner, or Ahrefs can be used, among many others. But these tools rely on Google data, so it's important to also use TikTok itself to understand what users are searching for within the social network. Simply open the TikTok search bar and enter the keywords you obtained during research. This will yield keyword options that are popular on the platform. Once you've chosen your keywords for TikTok, incorporate them into your content. Titles, descriptions, and video subtitles should all be used for this. If a video contains audio, pronouncing some of the most relevant keywords can also help with positioning, as TikTok's algorithm values this. Remember, just as with written content, keywords should be integrated naturally, without overdoing it or forcing them. All content published on TikTok can be promoted on other social networks or even on your brand's blog or website, if you have one. This helps promote your channel and content, potentially generating more traffic and increasing both visibility and reach. In fact, if your goal is to improve positioning, creating written content related to your TikTok posts can be a great way to redirect users to the platform. Finally, always conduct an analysis of your SEO positioning strategy to determine its effectiveness and whether the expected results are being achieved. If not, see how you can adjust and adapt your strategy. Analyzing what the competition is doing and the strategies they are following can also provide insights into ways to improve. In addition to the SEO work, several other factors need to be considered for TikTok positioning, as this social network has its own algorithm. One of the most important factors is user interactions with published content. TikTok highly values how the audience interacts with videos. These interactions include likes, comments, shares, saves, favorites, followers, views, etc. Another factor TikTok considers when displaying and suggesting a video is the information added about it. Its algorithm primarily analyzes the title, description, subtitles, on-screen text, tags, music and sounds, and effects and filters. This underscores the importance of including keywords, albeit naturally. Know the trends and stay active. To succeed on TikTok, you have to know what kind of content goes viral. It's not about copying content. It's about getting an idea of what gets attention. Videos must be high quality. Even if your content is interesting, entertaining, and attractive, low quality video or bad audio will not yield great results. Lighting, sound, and the entire editing process should be carefully managed to ensure good quality. consistency posting is key. TikTok highly values accounts that regularly and consistently post content. Moreover, audiences become more engaged with profiles that consistently offer new content. Leveraging challenges and trends. Participating in challenges and trends or creating them is a good way to increase video visibility and reach, as well as using filters, audio, or other trending elements. Try out different formats and styles. Experimenting can be a good idea even if the current one is performing well. You can always revert and recover what was working. Collaborating with other creators to reach a new audience and attract new followers. Just keep in mind that collaborations should always be done with a content creator who shares the same brand values or is at least compatible. Create original content. You have to be creative and put out content that is original and fun. The more entertaining, the better. Publish frequently. The more content you publish, the more likely you are to reach your audience. However, posting for the sake of posting does not work. Connect social networks. Tap into followers on other social networks and share content there to drive traffic to your TikTok. That said, don't share everything, as users don't want to see the same thing twice. Account and device settings are also factors that can aid in TikTok SEO ranking. Although they are less significant than user interactions and video information, they can still be helpful. They include things like language preferences, location, and device type. As mentioned before, it's worth noting that techniques like hashtag usage can improve positioning among TikTok's internal search results. If you use the right ones, your posts will appear to users searching for content related to your topic. Let's see how we can search for popular hashtags on TikTok following these easy steps. Log in and click on the magnifying glass icon that appears at the top right of the screen. A search box will appear. Here, you should enter a word that defines your content and then click on the Hashtags tab. Finally, you will be able to look at all the related results that contain that word and the number of times they have been viewed. This will indicate how popular they are. Once you have clarity on the hashtags you want to use in your post, you should take into account these best practices to get the most out of them. Don't overuse hashtags by including too many in your videos. TikTok allows a maximum of 100 characters of text, including hashtags and spaces. Don't use only popular hashtags. Make use of less popular ones as well. This will help you get the best of both worlds. On one hand, the most popular ones have a high search volume, but the downside is that there is a lot of competition and it can be difficult to gain a foothold with them. On the other hand, the less popular hashtags have less traffic, so it will be easier for you to get noticed. On special dates, it is useful to use specific hashtags such as Black Friday or Thanksgiving to gain visibility during the season, since the public tends to search for them during these times. On TikTok, hashtags related to challenges work very well. Whether you are a brand or a content creator, it can be very helpful to use them to boost your brand awareness. It is very common to create hashtags that accompany a challenge you have invented. You can also collaborate with influencers to help you make the hashtag challenge viral. And now, let's analyze some of the best examples of TikTok SEO. Wondering how Netflix has managed to attract a whopping more than 30 million followers and gain over 1 million likes? The trailers, teasers, and snippets are what keep these followers hooked. People want to stay informed about their favorite TV shows and get updates on the latest releases, which is why Netflix TikTok content strategy works. The brand regularly posts updates on upcoming projects and TV show continuations, as well as teasers for impending releases. They also use clips from their platform to make funny videos or trendy challenges.
Slay.
It's exactly why Dusty had to leave the school and Anne had to meant to be.
Always in TikTok's language addressed to the right audience. Following this example, you can use TikTok's short-form video format to share teasers and behind-the-scenes shots of your upcoming projects. This can build anticipation and get your audience hooked, as they'll be on the lookout for more updates from your brand. The same kind of strategy can be applied across different industries, as you can tease them with product close-ups, feature focuses, and so on. The next example is Chipotle. Chipotle is well known for creating content showcasing their casual and fun personality with a brand of humor that their audience appreciates. You can find hilarious and relatable POV videos, as well as bite-sized tips on how to get the most out of your Chipotle experience. More recently, Chipotle started creating vlog-style TikTok videos in which their new social media manager provides a behind-the-scenes glimpse into how the food is prepared. This helps to humanize the brand and build trust with the audience as people get more transparency about how the business runs. You could also learn from them and keep your account human and relatable so people can feel more inclined to engage with your brand. You could show them how things are made, how your employees are working, and what the conditions are like in your establishment. Consider having a dedicated social media manager or team to take over these tours so people feel like they're interacting with another person instead of a brand. If you thought TikTok isn't the right place for B2B marketing, think again. Brands like Zendesk are getting tons of views and engagements on the platform. The brand currently boasts over 52,000 followers and 241,000 likes, which is a lot more than what they're seeing on Instagram. And it's all thanks to the high quality content that Zendesk pushes out on the regular. Followers of Zendesk on TikTok can gain access to bite-sized informative content related to the customer service industry. This includes interviews, thought leadership pieces, tips and tricks, and much more. One of the most standout types of videos that Zendesk creates on TikTok involves relatable content for those in the customer support industry.
Today we have a couple confessions that some channels want to get off their chests. Phone, do you want to start? So I secretly love having 30 people on hold at the same time. Interesting confession, Phone. And how does that make you feel? Horribly entertained. Oh, just wait until I tell you about how much I love when people can't figure out if I'm a human or not.
Make sure you prioritize content that your target audience will be able to relate to. Find a way to portray scenarios and situations that are extremely common in your industry and provide viable solutions or workarounds depending on the case. The more people can relate to your content, the more likely they are to engage and continue to support your business. Duolingo is killing it on TikTok with Gen Z humor delivered through a mascot with a distinctive personality. The brand continues to ride on the wave of the unsettling reminder messages sent to language learners that they once got famous for. Taking this as an example, don't be afraid to leverage humor on TikTok if it aligns with your brand identity. Know what type of humor appeals to your target audience and make the most of it when creating content for the platform. Additionally, having a distinct personality that can be strongly associated with your brand is the best way to stand out on TikTok. With over 2 million followers, Fenty Beauty is another brand leading the TikTok marketing landscape. They share a consistent flow of helpful tutorials and how-to videos that keep those followers coming. Fenty Beauty regularly shares videos providing tips and tricks on how to use certain products and which products to use. They provide practical steps to achieve certain looks that are currently trending on social media. But they also share trendy and funny videos that align with their audience and with the tone of their app. One of the best ways to provide value to your audience is by teaching them and showing them how to do something. With TikTok's short-form video format, you could turn your longer educational videos into bite-sized tips and brief tutorials. Like this example from Lounge. This is a great way to keep your audience engaged while establishing your value. In conclusion, when following a coherent and consistent SEO strategy on TikTok or any social network, you'll likely see an improvement in video and content reach. If not, it's a good idea to review your strategy and seek out areas that may need improvement. If you want to learn more about TikTok, you can watch this video about how to monetize TikTok, or this other one about TikTok marketing and advertising to grow your business. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. See you next time.